Welcome to the Chef's Kitchen Healthy Fine Dining series. I'm your host, Nicole Gaffney, and we're here today with St. Luke's University Health Network. We're bringing together doctors and chefs to create healthy new menu options to be featured at their restaurants. And joining me in the kitchen today is Chef Victor Bock of the Sands Casino Resort in Bethlehem, as well as Dr. Tecile Andolino. Welcome. Great to have you guys both here.
Thanks for having me.
What are we making today?
Okay, we're going to feature a couple dishes from two of the restaurants at the casino. The first one's going to be from Emeril's Fish House, charred or grilled octopus salad.
Nice.
Tecile, I'm going to use you as my sous chef today, if you don't
excited.
mind.
I'm ready.
So we're going to start off with the first item, if you want to just help me over here.
Okay.
So the first thing we're going to do in the blender here is a chorizo sausage roux. Not quite a traditional roux. For all intents and purposes, it's a garlic mayonnaise. So we will start with 2 egg yolks. This is some of our house-made chorizo sausage. I've already diced it up, sauteed it to render it a little bit.
You do a lot of cured meats in-house, don't you?
We do. We have a very good charcuterie program.
Nice.
So again, a little bit of acid to help the emulsification process. We'll add a little bit more. That's
white wine vinegar?
Champagne vinegar as well. Some caramelized onions. And we'll just give a hint of some more acid with the lemon juice. Again, it's always very important. I try to stress with my young cooks is the acid component and how important it is with pretty much everything that you do. You just need that because it brings out and it just kind of magnifies all the other flavors that are involved with this.
Sure.
So if you just want to...
So there was a method to my mom's madness?
There is a method.
Your mom is a good cook?
Oh my goodness, my parents both.
Nice.
So you can use the pulse function here.
Okay, I got you.
Grab me the rubber spatula, please. So once you continue to do that, scraping the sides every now and then.
Okay.
Continue to do that,
Sure.
and we'll finish with olive oil.
This is a really interesting preparation.
Is that a good consistency? Or you need some more liquid in there?
Yeah, we'll start with the olive oil and to make our mayonnaise.
Now,
Okay.
Tecile, you like to cook a lot too, right?
I do. My family is from Guyana in South America, and so lots of West Indian, Caribbean flavors in my household. And my husband's family's Italian, so you can only imagine how much food is in our house.
We'll add some fresh oregano to that. Then we'll check our seasoning just to make sure we're accurate. Some fresh milled pepper, some kosher salt.
Pulse away.
Yep. Give the bowl wipe a little bit and we'll give a taste.
All right. This looks so good.
Nice.
Sweet.
Grab yourself a little taste there.
All right, hold on a second. I'm excited. Can I just put this here? Oh my goodness.
What do you think?
Good?
It's delicious.
Nice.
How's the acid component, which is always the...
Has a good tartness at the end. Love it.
Tell you what, let's just do a little bit more of the vinegar. All right. That should be good right now. And I have here, never so appetizing as you see it in its raw state, but we have some Spanish octopus. So
I love
what we're
octopus,
going to do for that...
You know what? Like I said, with an Italian husband, I have to eat all this stuff.
A little bit of everything.
I have to. And my rule is to try it at least once, maybe twice, just to make sure you really don't like it before you can say that it's off your list of foods to eat.
What's that, a little garlic?
Some whole garlic cloves. This is one of the challenges with this dish is this is the item obviously you want to do in advance. Okay. But it's not difficult at all. People get a little intimidated because not many people have worked with octopus. Sure. Great protein item, very low in fat. So, and you're seeing that more and more on menus as well. So what we're going to do here is we're going to set up sort of our own little court bouillon mixture to poach it in.
Say that 3 times fast.
Court bouillon, court bouillon. So a bouillon, a broth if you would.
A broth, okay.
I have celery, onions, carrots, whole garlic cloves as I mentioned before. We have the aromatics of some bay leaf and some black peppercorns.
Just making a flavorful liquid here.
Correct. A little bit of lemon juice.
Okay.
We add a little bit of red pepper flake. And for this preparation, for our recipe that we worked out with Chef Emeril here, we do a lot of cured bacon, our own cured bacon in-house. So rather than rendering it to really extract some of that flavor, we put it in essentially raw,
Just
even
big
though it's
chunks of it?
big chunks.
Nice.
Okay.
A lot of flavor going on there. And then you're just going to pour water over that?
We'll saute that. Again, you could add a little bit of wine
Okay.
if you want, but primarily water's fine. Stock would be perfect as well if you had that.
Great. So then the octopus just goes right in there?
Right in there, covered.
Okay. And that's it?
Yeah, a little bit of wine. This will probably take covered over low heat in an oven about an hour and a half.
Okay. So you want to really cook it to get
Correct.
that nice and tender?
Correct.
We'll return with more from the Chef's Kitchen. We now return to the Chef's Kitchen.
What type of medicine do you practice?
I'm a pediatric nephrologist, which
What
means a specialist that treats children with kidney disease. So we see infants to adolescents, and we even see prenatal consults, so
Really?
women who are expecting that have abnormalities on ultrasound specifically related to the kidney.
All right.
Things can be as simple as, hey, I have high blood pressure as a child, which is
All right.
not supposed to happen. Or we can have kids who are born with one kidney, or a kidney that doesn't function very well.
So really simple stuff along with the really
You got
heavy-duty
it.
stuff.
You got
Okay.
it.
Now
Sometimes
how-
it's as simple as potty training.
Okay. Well, how would a parent know they need to see a doctor like you?
Usually they get referred by their general practitioner, so either their pediatrician or their family practice doctor.
Through the magic of TV, we have a prepared octopus all ready to go. So ideally in the restaurant, we do this on the grill. It's just that smoky charred flavor to
Yeah.
it. Simply light toss with some olive oil onto the grill, roll it around. So we will do this for now in just a saute pan. So this is, for this salad, this is only the only really warm component to it.
Okay.
We'll just let that cook lightly. So let's finish the dish.
Okay.
It's really very easy from here. So we will now make mustard vinaigrette. We start all off with a little bit of honey. We have some whole grain pomegranate mustard. Again, a little bit of red wine vinegar as the acid component. If you would, Nicole, you want to chop some fresh oregano to finish that? Grab
Sure.
one of my knives. Again, a little bit of lemon juice for the acid piece.
Now, I saw you use some fresh oregano
Also in the roux,
so
correct.
we're kind of carrying over that flavor.
And some capers as well.
Yep, we will finish that with a salad.
Ooh.
Okay. I'm going to drizzle some olive oil here.
Sure. And this is extra virgin?
Extra virgin olive oil, just enough to emulsify
Okay.
it.
Is that the same type of oil that we use for the octopus as well?
It was, correct.
Okay.
You want to grab a spoon and give a taste there, see how we did.
Don't mind if I do.
Just our seasonings. All right.
It's good.
Ready to go?
I think so.
Doctor, what do you think here?
Wow. Best part.
I like the oregano in there.
Oh, and it has a nice punch
Sweet.
to it at the back. That's delicious.
All right.
Here, I'm gonna put this over.
So this, you're really just crisping the octopus
Just to give
up.
a
It's
nice
already
little bit of
cooked through.
texture, as I mentioned.
Okay.
The grill is kind of my preferred way as far as that goes, with that smoky texture, which works out really well with all the other components in the dish. So,
Okay, great.
So for plate up, we will take a little bit of the chorizo roux.
Now, Tecile, different foods can definitely play into kidney health. Are there certain foods to consume or avoid?
So a lot of parents always ask that question when
Yeah.
they bring their kids in, interestingly enough, and I tell them heart-healthy diet.
Okay.
For the vast majority of kids, if you can shop the perimeter of your grocery store, that's going to be your best bet.
Always good advice.
Low in salt, less processed. That you can't beat that.
Stick to fruits and veggies, the basic stuff.
You've got it. Fruits and veggies and healthy proteins.
Nice.
So really not super complicated. The times where we have to do restrictions to diets are usually for the kids who have abnormal kidney function,
Sure.
just like the adults would. And in those situations, we're talking about things that might be really high in potassium, like potatoes, for
interesting.
example, or things that are really high in phosphorus, like your dairy.
Okay, great to know.
But for the
very
most part,
specific.
very specific, and only in those situations.
Gotcha.
Outside of that, we say low salt, high fruits and vegetable fiber diet, and good healthy proteins, and that's it.
So pretty much the same for everyone.
Everyone.
Same all around.
It makes it really easy.
Exactly. Now, what you just put in here?
Okay, so some arugula, and again, it's all about combinations of flavors and layers and so forth. So the capers obviously has a nice little briny
Yeah,
vinegar
love
base,
capers.
the roux we spoke of. We have some green Greek olives here. I have some fingerling potatoes that I've already fried lightly.
Oh, nice.
So what I've done is I'll just throw them back into the pan with the octopus, give a little bit of heat or warmth through them, kind of bring back that crunchy texture if you would. The arugula is that bittery, peppery green that you see more and more on menus.
I love
One of my
arugula.
favorite
One of my
greens to
favorites.
work
Me
with.
too. Love that peppery bite.
So a little bit of the vinaigrette, as I mentioned earlier.
And you toss it all together so everything gets coated in that dressing.
Everything gets coated in
Nice.
the dressing. So
I have to say, the roux is such an interesting touch to this dish with the chorizo in there. I'm so intrigued.
It tasted so good.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see this all put together.
Exactly. Victor truly is an artist with his food.
thank
I
you.
don't think my plating looks this nice.
Neither does mine. Okay. All right, I'm going to bring this over to the tasting table. I can't wait to try this later.
Very, very simple. Again,
Yeah,
the big preparation
exactly.
piece obviously is the octopus to give it a little bit. That
For
can
sure.
be done 2, if not maybe 3 days in advance, kept in the refrigerator. You're fine with that.
That's it?
That's
Even
it.
better.
You can just leave it in the refrigerator.
That's it.
Wow.
That's it.
Love make ahead.
I know,
type
I'm like
meals,
thinking
right?
about it, I'm like, really? That's it? That's all that's involved?
We'll return with more from the Chef's Kitchen. We now return to the Chef's Kitchen.
Now, your husband, who's also a physician,
Yes.
also likes to cook.
Yes.
Do you guys cook together a lot in the,
We
in the kitchen?
oftentimes do.
Yeah, that's great.
Although sometimes, we have little turf wars
Sure.
with regards to,
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
sometimes it gets a little territorial.
I hear that.
And he likes to steal credit for my stuff. So
Now that's not cool.
no, not cool. He even did it this weekend.
Did he?
Yeah,
Well, he's
he's
on blast now.
I tell you.
Now, do you cook a
boys.
lot of traditional foods that you grew up with? Or?
Absolutely.
Nice.
So we definitely do a combination of both. So one night it's pasta, the next night it's curry.
I love it.
So it's
Do you ever
just-
fuse them together?
Now that you say that, I don't think we ever did.
I think it's time. You have to start a whole new movement here.
Well, an Italian Guyanese fusion menu would actually not be that bad.
Maybe it'll
Sounds good
be
to me.
on Victor's
We've
next
got
menu.
we've got some spices, got
Yeah.
some jerk in there.
That's wonderful.
And the thing is with Guyanese food is that there's so many different cultures kind of all thrown in
Yeah,
together. So
it
there's
really
some
is
Indian
interesting.
influences, there's some African influences.
There's a lot of Caribbean, right?
There's
Yeah.
Chinese, Korean,
Yeah.
that's all like thrown in together
That's so
in one big pot.
interesting.
So
Really
it does
cool.
make it fun.
All right, what do we have next?
Let's have another dish then.
Okay.
This
Yes.
is from the Buddy Velastro restaurant, or Italian concept restaurant.
The Cake Boss, right?
The Cake Boss, yeah,
Yeah.
Cake Boss fame. This is a pan-roasted salmon.
Okay.
Tecile, I'm going to have you work with me on the kind of base
go over
sauce,
there.
much like the roux. Very, very simple. This is called a Romanesco sauce.
Okay.
Yum.
Kind of a traditional Italian. It's made with roasted red bell peppers, so we've gone ahead, fire roasted those, peeled those already, some vine tomatoes, a little bit of red wine vinegar, some almonds. Simple olive oil, saute, a little bit of stock, cook it down into a blender. Okay?
Sounds
Again,
pretty
something that can be made days in advance, works great with pretty much any seafood, works great with chicken, veal, beef I think it would work with also, so,
I'm going to be
okay?
paying really close attention to you with the salmon.
Good.
It's one of those things that you make at home and you want it to look like the restaurant, and it just doesn't
doesn't.
always come out the same.
You're in the right place then. Victor knows his
So
way
I'm
around
so
a piece of
excited that he's actually making salmon today.
salmon. Perfect.
This worked out really well.
Now, do you use any particular type of salmon? There's so many different kinds out there today.
This is wild salmon.
Okay.
And we tend to buy the same
We
thing.
try to do that.
Yeah.
We try to support, the sustainability efforts as much as we can.
Absolutely, I can appreciate that.
So I'll start off with olive oil, chopped garlic as well. Not much color on your garlic.
Ooh,
It's
smells
obviously
great.
going to steam and perfume with some of the natural juices from the roasted peppers.
Okay.
And at this point, it's almost like a little bit of everybody can dive in here. Slivered almonds.
Now, do you toast them first?
I didn't for this portion of that,
Mm-hmm.
but I do and have for the finished piece as a garnish
Gotcha,
on that.
okay.
So fix that up. So I've started this. I've gone ahead and finished the batch, put it in the blender and so forth. This will take probably about a half an hour at the very most, because all you really want to do, bring this up to a simmer for about another 15 minutes, pull it off, adjust your seasoning, salt and pepper into the blender. Okay?
Perfect. Is
Obviously,
that what you get?
this is what it'll look like. The one caution, obviously, when you pull this off, you want to let it to cool. I've seen too many
Yep.
cooks with too much hot food in a blender, and it comes out and there's a burn situation there.
Yeah.
So
Luckily, we have a doctor here.
I don't do adults.
This is a good point.
I'm like,
Sure, you could
I
make an
I
exception.
could do the emergency stuff for you, but after that, I'm gonna be like, hey, phone a friend.
All right, so the next is the salmon.
And this is skinless, or do you have skin on there?
Skin's already
Okay.
off, pin bone removed and so forth.
Great.
A little bit of salt on both sides. And we're going to start this flesh side down. Can you want to just hit me with a little bit of fresh mill pepper on there, if you will?
Sure. Now, do you usually saute your salmon when you make it, Tecile?
We usually put it in the oven, although I have tried sauteing it the way that you're going to do now, and it always gets that, is that the albumin, the white stuff?
albumin,
yeah,
yeah.
it comes out, and I'm like, oh, that's not what it looks like in the restaurant.
That's true.
I think when you see the little bits of white, the
Yeah.
albumin come out, that's when you're maybe cooking it a little bit over.
And
if
so
you
that's
cook
why
it
I'm like,
slightly less-
I'm staring at it. I check it every 2 seconds, and then you come back and you're like, ah,
Do you like it when it's slightly underdone in the center?
a little.
Yeah.
A little. My husband's more of the
Well done type.
No, actually,
Oh, he likes
he'll do everything raw,
Okay,
the whole
nice.
nine. But I tend to
good.
have mine more on the
Yeah.
medium side. So I'm trying to make this happen.
We'll return with more from the Chef's Kitchen. We now return to the Chef's Kitchen.
So tell me what it's like to be part of the St. Luke's University Health Network.
It's like a big family.
Yeah.
It is. You can always phone a friend. If you're dealing with a patient that has a particular issue that you need other expertise. For example, you go to the radiology department. There's often times where I go and I'm literally like, can you pull up this study and can we look at it together?
Right.
Not a problem. If I go to the urologist, they're the surgeons of the urinary tract. And a lot of times we, powwow about cases and talk about, does the patient need to come see you?
Right.
So there's a lot of collaborative effort. So it's kind of like a big family.
I love that. That's fantastic. All right, so you flip the salmon over.
Okay.
It's still pretty rare in the center.
It will be, yeah. Now, ideally, again, depending on your for medium or
Medium.
more well done, some people have I would pop this in an oven per se in the restaurant. So what we're going to follow this with, same pan, picking up some of the juices and what have you. So again, much like the octopus, we've gone ahead and split and blanched some fingerling
Fingerlings?
potatoes,
Okay.
lightly fried those. Those could be actually pan roasted as well to bring them back. These are oven roasted tomatoes, Roma tomatoes that we've tossed with fresh oregano, fresh thyme, a little bit of garlic, olive oil, slow roasted those probably for like 8 minutes, not very long, just a little.
That's it?
Develop the flavors, pull some of the juice out, cool those down and quarter those. We have some blanched kale and some artichokes, and as I mentioned, to kind of accentuate the Romanesco sauce that has the almond component to that, we'll garnish with some toasted almonds as well.
Beautiful.
So obviously this sauce, you could make it without nuts if there's a nut allergy in the family or with friends.
Could you
and so forth.
substitute maybe like a sunflower seed or something?
Sure,
that doesn't have
absolutely,
an allergy
absolutely.
To get that texture.
So we have our salmon. Feels like we're just about at medium, so we will just pull this off and let it rest. So again, we have the fingerling potatoes. We'll add those first. We want to try to get them to give a little bit of that crunchy fried sort of texture back to it.
Okay.
A little bit of blanched kale,
Oh,
some
artichoke.
artichoke hearts,
Oh, that smell.
and the
know.
vine tomatoes that we like slow roasted. We'll add those last. So we want them to kind of keep their texture without
Yeah.
kind of really dissolving while we do that.
So many great smells happening in here right
A
now.
little bit of pepper cane, or Nicole, if you would.
I'll have you do the honors.
Oh boy,
Seal?
this is a lot. You tell me when.
That's good.
All right.
All right, I think we're ready to plate.
Okay. Woohoo!
So again, we'll go with the Romanesco sauce, like I mentioned earlier. Really good consistency.
Such a nice color too, that bright orange. And this is
So good.
also going to be on the menu as part of the St. Luke's Healthy Fine Dining
That
menu.
is correct.
Excellent.
That is correct.
I feel like I'm about to go run to the restaurant right
Yeah,
now.
I know, seriously. We don't have to. We get to
I
eat
know.
this here.
Yes. I knew there was a perk today.
Always on the Chef's Kitchen. A lot of perks here. This is really so artistic in the plating.
All right.
So many different colors and textures happening.
So we have a little lemon vinaigrette,
Nice.
and this is lemon juice and olive oil.
Okay.
That's it. So again, sort of just a little bit of touch over that. Now you can do this at plating, or as I mentioned, as you're cooking this, if you went into the oven,
throw it
baste it
in
with a
right
little
there.
bit of that as well. I have a basil infused olive oil, and as I mentioned earlier as well, we're just
one
going
of
with
those
a couple
almonds.
toasted
Nice.
almonds.
Oh, so pretty.
Oh, I know.
You can't beat that color. All right, I'm excited to taste, and we have a special guest here with us.
This is my daughter, Serena.
Welcome, Serena.
Hi.
It's great to have you here. Are you excited to taste? Excellent. Well, I'm going to give you a fork.
You ready?
I'm going to give you a fork.
Thank you.
Chef.
Baby
All right, dig in. Cheers. Ding.
Let's try it.
Do you like salmon,
Yeah,
Serena?
eat it at home.
Nice.
You want to have?
It's so crispy.
Yeah.
It's
Perfectly
crunchy.
cooked.
You like it? That was really good.
And try that sauce.
Did you try some of the sauce? So good.
I have to get this octopus.
It's so spicy.
It's not
Nope.
spicy. And you eat spicy food.
Not much.
Okay, sure.
The octopus is fabulous too.
Would you like
I
to
love
try
that
this?
vinaigrette. The sweetness and the saltiness with the olives and the capers. And then you have that bitter arugula.
Take a nice bite.
Nice.
You got it? No.
There you go. Get it all in. I love that.
Let's see. Not ladylike to be chomping on octopus, I don't think. That is so good.
I love it. This is excellent.
Delicious.
Thank you very much.
Let's have a
Thank you.
toast.
I like it.
You liked it too?
Thank you to St. Luke's University Health Network. Thank you to Sands Casino Bethlehem. Thank you to all of you for being here today. I had a great time.
My pleasure.
Sorry.
Thank you very
This
much.
was fun.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me on the Chef's Kitchen. I appreciate the opportunity. It gives me a great opportunity to show some of the dishes that we feature throughout all of our restaurants at Sands Casino.
So being on Chef's Kitchen today was so fantastic. Being an amateur chef at home and being able to talk about what we do every day at work and mix the two together has been fantastic. What a great opportunity.